welcome to basically the Shoebox Poet, which is me, Clarence Plank, and I am here to read you some poetry from my book, Drowning in the Iris of a Woman, that can be found on Amazon. So we will pick up where we left off, and this poem is called "The Walls Speak," and this was for a word prompt. The walls speak of you, this place called home. It was what I felt while lying here, drawn deep into you. And so this prompt right here, I was thinking along the lines of the situationship that I was in, or whatever you can call it. I don't know. And I was thinking about that uh, certain moments and stuff that happen within that. You still, you still don't get over somebody, or you get over somebody, but you still have, thoughts about them every now and then. So that was what I was thinking about in that situation. This next one's called Halls of Time, and this is actually multiple word prompts that I strung together. And whenever I do a word prompt, depending on the length of it, because some of them are like, 11 words, 10 words, and along with the word prompt, or this 40, 50, 70. It just depends on it. Now, so that gives me a lot of free reign to use certain poems or multiple word prompts in, or create multiple poems in out of with word prompts, or multiple word prompts into a poem. Some of these places that do these, they don't like that because it kind of frown on that. They don't. They want the poem, the prompt that you have, to actually stand out. So I understand where they're coming from. But as I said, this one's called Halls of Time. Happy New Year. Father Time wanders the halls of time. Walls of clocks, shelves, lined with hourglasses, one by one, winding the clocks, rolling forward, ticking away the days, moment, shiny grains of sand slide through the hourglass, like sparkling diamonds shimmering in the light. Sands pour from one glass to another as the ticking clocks chime, ringing in the new year. And a new figure winds the clocks as the old man turns the sand and is a case behind glass. Now, this word prompt, it was multiple ones like walls of clocks, shelves, hourglasses, glass, sands, and anytime when you mention hourglass or hourglasses, that was when I was combining those poems, because I had to do I did two different ones for that made the word count for the word prompt. Now I wanted to do something that was kind of a visual to when I was doing this, and I thought about doing something with Father Time, and at the end of it, instead of the old man going and dying, he just basically turns to sand, and he becomes a part of basically the wall of hourglasses that are on the shelves and stuff. And so he's constantly, I don't know whether it's basically if he knows that he's going to be an hourglass, or basically sand running in an hourglass, or basically now he's a part of time itself because he's a memory. This next poem is called "She Is Made of Glass," and this basically pulls from the same word prompt of glass. Oh, she is made of glass, all sparkling things that makes her fragile, and he broke her. If she only knew that I would have ruined my hands to replace her pieces, but she threw me away for him. So I can only watch as she scatters herself across the floor, trying to pull herself back together alone. And this is basically we ended up, everybody makes, choices. Everybody makes, poor choices. And you don't really see them as being poor choices, but sometimes those choices that we make, I mean, even though it was a bad decision there, it actually, works out a certain way because of the experience and the things that you draw from it, or the different path that you chose. So it's not really necessarily a bad thing. But for the person being here between these two people, you know, she took that chance on that guy, but she ended up casting away the other guy. In the process, she ends up losing them both, and so now she's trying to pull herself back together again by herself, which is probably the best thing because she needs to learn how to heal herself and love herself more. So, this next poem is called "Come and Find Me." Come and find me, won't you? My legs are tired. I'm weary from chasing your ghost and watching you slip from my grasp every time I found you. So this word prompt is ghost and slip from your grasp, basically. These things are just how I look at it. Is just for me, I'm tired of chasing people or chasing things and chasing because I'm gonna chase, but I'm gonna chase the things that are there. So I'm gonna chase after my dreams. I'm gonna chase after being a writer, chase after doing the best I can to take care of my family or my friends or different stuff. But I'm not going to over pursue. So if a person wants me, she has to come find me because I spent all this time searching for her, and I couldn't find her. Which her is basically, it could be anyone. I mean, anyone. So you don't necessarily just saying, oh, there's just one person. No, there's multiple people out there. Any one of them can be the person that you can have a life with. It's just finding somebody who's willing to take that chance with you, and y'all both working things out. And you'll pretty much know in the beginning of things, if things are going to work out, if there's a chance. So, the next one's called "I Painted Your Silhouette." And this is basically I get usually stuck on different words because I try to find different ways to be able to write them or do them, and until I feel that this is something I really like or a poem I love. I painted your silhouette upon the walls of my mind. This is the only place where the memory of us still plays in my head. I can feel your body pressed against mine as the echoes of those sparks shimmer along my cortex of my headspace. Regret rings louder here of all those times where I want to be lost in your eyes once more. Drown in your kissings, feel your naked body burn against my own. In the night, this is my punishment for loving you when you could not endure a love like mine. And this is just thinking about a girl that different girls that I had the opportunity to be with, but nothing really was solid there. And just playing on those things is like how much you think about certain people. As I said from earlier, so you think about people, you think about things, you think about the what if sometimes, but you don't get stuck there, and I don't get stuck there. A lot of times I'll go back to those memories and I think about things, and then I try to write something about that. And the next one's called "Kissing Your Neck," and this plays a lot a part on this one poem. I remember kissing your neck instead of your lips. Perhaps if I kissed you there, maybe we would have connected. I wonder if your lips were soft as your neck when I trailed my kisses along your neck to your shoulders. I can still feel you grinding your hips into mine, I should have taken you and ravaged you, drinking from your body created memories of being intertwined in a heap of sex and lust before lying with you as a cool from the marathon of sex pounding flesh. And this is the girl that was at the ball, yeah. Um, and as I said, you deal with the regret, because you see, when I was working on this book, I had just finished Death of a Gentleman, and this was back 2020, end of 2020, or near the end of 2020, like October, November, somewhere in there. So basically, with this book, I was trying to, I hadn't published anything, and I figured that Death of a Gentleman was going to be the last one that I published, and I was going to be working on other books, but and doing other things, but it just didn't really work that way. So this book, I kept on throwing in the poems into it, and thinking about her, because it was basically a year removed from that at this point. And things you learn from that point, it's just maybe, as I said, the shoulda, coulda, woulda thing. But you can't really, I can't really beat myself up over it, because there was a lot of things I didn't know. And I'm probably more to, it's probably both of us are to blame, or maybe, I don't know. I'm not passing the blame around, because I don't believe in passing the blame around. Things happen, you move on. And this is called enjoy the things. How do I last in the moment and enjoy the things in the middle of it all? How do I find my joy and hold on to it within me? Do I look deep inside and find my habits and rebel there through the lows of life? And when I was writing this, I was trying to figure out how to find my happiness and being happy in things, because doing this, as I said, this is the pandemic, and everything was like closed. People didn't talk to you anymore, because they either didn't want to spend any time with you, or you became a memory, man. It's just like, or they forgot you. Like, we're done, all right. And you're just like, wait a minute, I thought we were a lot cooler than that, but I guess not. So I ended up spending a lot of time by myself and soul searching myself. So, and this poem's called "She's a Mystery," and she's a mystery, one I want to explore and learn her story while we dance in a lover's embrace. Is it possible for me to look into your eyes and know that you and I were meant to be? And I think this is about this girl who's a mystery. She just came out. I think she was actually a dancer that I met out in Knoxville. Cause I ended up giving a lot of cards out to the ball to wall out there and everything, because we were trying to get drum up support and everything. So I guess that's where she came from, because she could really dance, and so I'm beginning to believe that she was that, or I believe she was a professional dancer. This next one is called "And in the Magic." Dreams, memories, all they are. Started dreams, and in the magic of it all, we kissed, and all the noise lining up my head died away. As your voice silenced the demons, and they hid from the light of your soul, as it shined through the prism of my iris. And in this is basically, falling in love with someone and kissing them and everything. It's just a daydream kind of a thing, because don't really think it was for a word prompt. We're going to get to the last poem here, and then I got some other things I got to tell you. And this one's called "Sometimes I Wonder." Sometimes I wonder why I can't attract love, rather than weirdos, or run off a woman who don't understand the love that I give. It's frustratingly funny as I sit and watch people try to understand me. Sometimes I see the wheels turning inside their heads and trying to figure out a way to manipulate me to bend to their will. I love myself too much to destroy myself for someone that doesn't care about me. And it is true, because I value my peace over anything else. And that's why I try to basically I can really pretty much, look at people and be like, I don't know if I really want to deal with this right now, that kind of thing. So, if you didn't see my post earlier, Finding Peace Within the Storm, my first book, was actually, I sent it in to the Library of Congress for copyright, and once it copyright, it automatically goes into the Library of Congress, and so it is that. So I'm happy that my book is now in the Library of Congress, and it's just not about the celebrating that I got a book in the Library of Congress. It's celebrating the fact that the women who raised me and inspired me and helped me through a lot of tough times in my life are now immortal in a way. That they are now among, poets, artists, history now. And that's where they belong, because there are pieces of them that everybody needs to know about. And in those words, in that book, that's where they are. So, it is a huge accomplishment for them. Not for me, but for them. So, as of right now, I don't really have any shows coming up. I thought I was going to do Poets Playground on the 25th, but I can't do it because I'm going to be out of town. But I'm looking forward to going out of town to spend time with some people, with my friends and family, or with family. And so I will see you maybe next Sunday or maybe Monday. We'll see. I will let y'all know. But y'all have a good night. Be safe. Take care. And I will talk to y'all later.